Hi everybody, welcome back to the LEGO Studio. My name is Robbie. As you can see in front of us, we have the London Tower Bridge. I've just recently acquired this set along with the Sydney Opera House, and I've just recently put it together. So, it is by no means a new set, so I thought I would do a little bit of a retrospective. The set just turned 10, so looking back, sets that came out then, sets that come out now, how does it hold up? What do we think? Well, it definitely has a big physical presence. That's something you can't deny. I mean, I'm hiding behind this thing. It's big. It's impressive. Size will always be impressive in terms of LEGO. So we have this big set from 2010. We still have big sets. I mean, this is 4,200 pieces, over 4,200 pieces. It's 40 inches long. So it has a very physical presence. I don't know how else to describe it, but maybe not for everyone, but I think older sets are less impressive in that sense, that they don't have such a big voluminous, I don't know how to put it. It's something you really don't get until it's in front of you. So, by no means did this timeless structure, does it feel old, I guess. And it has good color. You know, I'm surprised that it has this nice, beautiful medium blue. I think that's medium blue. I also kind of think, and maybe it's just my stereotyping older sets, and 10 years isn't that old, that they're less colorful. I think that, you know, something from, 2008, that's probably not very bright or vibrant just because we've had so many new colors introduced since then. It doesn't feel that way with this one. The blue really pops, the tan is nice against the dark bluish gray and the white, and the gold accents. Yeah, so it's nice, and it's not the most colorful thing, but it has good colors. Not the most colorful, but good colors. The techniques are good. I think this building technique for the rounded sections is exceptionally clever, and for the towers themselves, and especially the roof lines. There's very tight joints between the different faces of the roof and in the valleys of the roof. So it doesn't feel like an old build in that sense. You know, it's got some relatively newer pieces for the time. You know, it's not all just bricks. So it doesn't feel dated in that sense, that the pieces themselves and the techniques are still being used today, and they'll still be used, and they were pretty clever. It certainly is a repetitive build, that's to be expected. You look at it and you think, well, I'm going to do this once, I'm going to do this again. It's the same with the Ferris wheel. You go into it knowing it's going to be repetitive, so it's not very fair to complain about that. It went by pretty fast in that sense, though. So, you know, a bit of an assembly line. However, these assemblies with all the cheese slopes, when I bought this used from Brixie, and he had the foresight and wisdom to not break these down in order to save his sanity and time, and also mine. So, in assembling this, I avoided the over 500 cheese slopes that I would have had to individually lay had I bought this new. Did, however, you know, sort of press them down and flatten them out. That's a nice technique that I've used a lot. I've seen others used. You just sort of get them all lined up. But had I done that, might have found this build a little bit more boring. But I didn't, so lucked out there. So 10 years later, I think this is a very good set. Holds up very well. I did make one modification. You might have already noticed. I switched out these 3 base plates that are normally 16 by 32 for 32 by 32. The set originally comes with 5 16 by 32 base plates, and you have one going this way, and this way, and this way, and this way, and this way. So you get kind of this staggered edge with base plates, and you know, I don't think that looked the greatest, and I already had 3 of these blue base plates lying around, so I swapped them out. I think it makes for a nice cleaner edge. Overall, a bit more displayable. In the sense of it being 10 years old, I believe it has a little bit of versatility to it that maybe older sets don't. Just in its scale, it's great on a shelf, just like this. But if you took away all the little cars, I think it's the perfect pedestrian bridge. And I put a few minifigs and bicycles and scooters on here, and it's scaled very well for that. And you could also open the arches and make them taller to allow trains to go through here. I think that's another good option. But it doesn't leave you completely without a second choice for displaying this, which is nice. Again, for an older model, you could very easily integrate this into a minifigure scale city, I believe. So overall, I'm incredibly happy with this set. I think it looks good at 10. I think it's going to look good at 20. We don't have a whole lot of comparison for it. And I mean that, like, this theme, I don't even know it's a creator expert line, but it's certainly part of that larger scale landmark series, which would be this, the Sydney Opera House, Big Ben, and the Taj Mahal. And maybe there's another one that's kind of like that. But the Taj Mahal, I believe, is the most recent, and it's a re-release. So there's not really a modern day equivalent we can compare this to. So 10 years later, how does it hold up to sets coming out in the same theme? Well, we don't really know that. We don't have that. It's not like a modular building where we've seen that progression over every year. This has been 4 sets over the course of, maybe even 15 years? So maybe it wouldn't hold up as well if we had been getting these kinds of sets every year. It's hard to say. But again, I'm incredibly thankful that I was able to get this and have this. It is a great set. I've added lights to it, and that shouldn't surprise you if you see my other videos. So I'm going to turn them on. Of course, they're not going to read as well right now during the daylight as they would at night, so I'll probably cut away to a photo I took last night, nice and dark. Actually waited until it was like pitch black out, came back in here, turned it on. The light alone from this set is enough to kind of light up half the Lego room here pretty well. You could definitely walk around and do things under just the light that is coming off of this guy here. So, very impressed with this light kit. A little more expensive than the other ones, but much bigger than the other ones. It does, of course, come with the burden of this mess. But if you're clever and you're displaying and you put it on a shelf or something that has a little opening, you could hide it away. And you can kind of hide the wires away. And if you just get rid of this stuff back here, you don't even really notice the lights when they're off. In fact, if you're really ambitious, you could pull out a whole bunch of parts here, swap them out, and redirect the USB plugs through this section of the foundation and into something below your table or what have you. So you can hide the wires. You don't really see them in here. I think they're pretty well hidden to the naked eye. So yeah, block these guys out in the back and you're good. Having said all that, this light kit is definitely meant for you to view it from the one face, as there are only the little spotlights in front here. Turn it back on. These little adjustable spotlights, they're only in the front. You don't have them on the back. This is where all your wires are coming out of. So it's definitely, got the one side it's meant to be viewed from, but that's okay. Yeah, I guess that's about all I want to talk about. Just a look back on what this feels like at 10. 10's not short amount of time by any stretch, especially for Lego, which does seem to evolve pretty quickly. New colors and new pieces and new techniques every year. New designers coming in, so it's a good thing. But also a good thing to have this still looking good. So thanks for stopping by and checking this video out. It's really appreciated. Stay tuned for more videos. Coming up, I've got the Sydney Opera House that I previously mentioned. Going to build that in all its glory and then light it up using another BrickLoot lighting kit, which I'm really excited about because that one has lights that change color. So stay tuned for that and a whole lot more. Thanks again. I'll catch you next time.